Hello, I'm Poetic Heretic, and welcome to this rather brief, but also hopefully very informative astrology stream. So, as usual, if you're watching when this is not live, you may fast forward till 5 minutes in, where we will begin with the main part of the material. And in the meantime, I will make sure everything is as it should be. So, how do we sound? How do we sound? How do we sound? So, how do we sound? How do we sound? How do we sound? All right, good. Hey there, Ryan. What's up? Not a whole lot. Just finished a live tarot reading stream, and now I'm doing this one real quick before I go have lunch. What are you up to? Hope you're having a good night. All right, let's see here. I'm not even going to tweet this one out, actually, because I'm really not going to be here very long, just until 10:50 at the latest, which is 10:17 my time right now. About to shower, did a 12-hour shift today. Oh, wow. That's intense. That is intense. I bet the shower will feel good after a long day like that. So let me get the astrological data on my screen now. Will I be streaming later tonight? I might be, like after lunch. I'm gonna have lunch from 11 to 12 my time, and it's 10:18 right now. Yeah, I might. Like, I guess it depends how much energy I have by then, essentially. And as long as nothing distracts me or anything, then then there's a good chance I'll come back. But I'm not sure with what yet. I was thinking maybe we could look at more Seth material tonight, or maybe even start a whole new book. I'm not sure yet. But we will be officially beginning this stream in 2 minutes. Hey there, Ginny. Welcome to the stream. This is going to be a short but sweet one, you guys. But it should be a lot of fun. I talked about the astrology briefly earlier in my live tarot reading stream, but we'll go back over what's happening now and, of course, whatever we have time to look at for the near future. Mars in Taurus, I am looking at you. So we are 1 minute away. A Midsummer's Night Dream. Wasn't that a story by Shakespeare? Is that correct? I think it was. Yeah, it was. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, some good news, you guys. And it's funny that Ryan, you showed up because you're the one who actually first recommended this to me, which I think it's an excellent idea, about getting sound insulation panels. Well, as a result of the donations I got in my stream earlier, I can afford to get some sound insulation panels for in here. Probably not enough. I can get a 12-pack though. I can get started, plus the command strips to hang them up, I guess. So I think I'm going to do that soon, but I haven't figured out like precisely what ones I want yet or how I want to do it just yet. So we'll see, but some good news. We should get some better audio quality soon. And I see we are now 5 minutes in, so let us officially begin. So again, this is going to be a short but sweet astrology stream. We'll look at the current state of affairs, and then we'll look at what's coming up in the near future. So to begin, the sun continues its current transit through Aquarius. It'll be finishing that up soon. It's currently at 25.8 of Aquarius. So we're still in that detached intellectual mood. However, Mercury has indeed moved into Pisces, as we mentioned last time. So we're not completely detached anymore like we were like we more or less were when Mercury was back in Aquarius. Now Mercury's in Pisces. Our minds are becoming much more imaginative, intuitive, emotionally driven, that sort of thing. And that's going to be the case for the next 2 months, a little over 2 months actually, until April 17th, longer than usual because of Mercury's retrograde pattern. Now, the moon currently is transiting Gemini, playful, intellectual Gemini. So that's giving us a little bit more of the detachment, I suppose, adding some more weight to that side of things, perhaps. But of course, that's only for the next day and a half approximately, and then the moon will move into Cancer and things will become more deep and emotional and self-protective and moody and all of that. But that is the current energy, the playful and technological, intellectual vibe of Gemini with the moon. So let's see what else. So Venus continues her transit through Capricorn, making our relationships much more practical, down to earth, structured, disciplined, real, loyal, all about sort of working hard for what we want, stuff like that. You know, Capricorn may be a very serious sign, perhaps at times too serious, but it's also a sign that's very real. And so when we have Venus in Capricorn, Venus talking about our relationships and socializing, all of a sudden those parts of our lives become that much more real, essentially. Venus is also heading, well, first towards a sextile with Neptune, very early Sunday morning at 3:43 a.m., so late Saturday night, Eastern time, that is. And that's going to be very sweet and delicious. Venus sextile Neptune is like a love of fantasy realms, a love of intuition. It would be a magnificent night to watch a movie or even play a video game, perhaps, or engage in any kind of creativity, any kind of art, Saturday and Saturday night, and also Sunday, I guess I would say, yeah, because it's sort of in between the two there. Now, what else? Mars is about to finish up its transit through Aries. It only has 7.5 hours to go before it enters Taurus. And so we're about to experience a very significant shift in the energy. Mars in Aries is all about, well, it's in its home sign. So assertion and focus on oneself and being a go-getter and spontaneity, acting on inspiration, making it happen now, making it happen in general. Very impulsive, very headstrong, that sort of thing. Whereas when Mars enters Taurus, we're all going to feel the collective shift of now we want our action to be much more consistent. We want our action to be much more hardworking. We want our action to be much more steady and stuff like that. Taurus is very consistent and steady, whereas Aries is all about being impulsive and making it happen now and stuff like that. Doesn't really give a shit about being consistent and steady, in all honesty. But that's not to say that that's ultimately a bad thing. For the sign of Aries, every sign is what they are for a good reason. So we will be looking deeper into here in a bit Mars transit through Taurus, because I'm very interested in that. That's new stuff, and it's going to be fascinating. And it should affect us for about 6 weeks, but I'll get the exact time on that later. Now, we're also just coming off of a Mars-Uranus conjunction. We just had that just over 21 hours ago, which was very explosive and volatile. So if any of you have been noticing anything really crazy happening in your lives recently, like within the past 24 to 48 hours, that's probably why. I know that my live streams 2 nights ago were just absolutely insane compared to how they usually are. And if you want to see what I mean, then, well, they're still up on my channel. Go ahead and watch them. But probably, fortunately, we're recovering from that energy currently. It's, it's waning now. The conjunction is past, but we still may be feeling some explosive residue of that alignment, so to speak. Let's see what else. Just another day. Oh, that's good. It wasn't for me, but it was. But it's okay. I was also watching some stuff play out live last night. That I was like, I'm not getting involved in this because it was very, very Mars Uranus. Okay, let's see what else. Of course, we have the Sun Uranus conjunction coming up on Monday, the 18th at 2:54 a.m. Eastern time, so very late Sunday night. Mars Uranus sextile. I did say sextile, right? Not conjunction. Well, whatever. Mars Uranus sextile, or Sun Uranus sextile. Geez, I'm getting all mixed up here. Ye gods. Sun Uranus sextile. Dear God. Is all about that which is sudden and shocking and unexpected. The sun energizes whatever it touches, and a sextile is supportive and harmonious. And so the sun is energizing the unpredictable element in our lives. Uranus' job is also the reconciliation of irreconcilable opposites. And so when the sun energizes it on, well, late February 17th, early February 18th, expect that sort of energy to play out. It's also happening, this makes it even more significant, as the sun finishes up its transit through Aquarius and Uranus finishes up its transit through Aries. So my latest theory, as a result of what I've heard master astrologer Rick Levine say about this kind of stuff, is that when a planet or object finishes up its transit through a sign, especially one of the slower moving planets or objects, it's almost like a grand finale of that energy. And so I expect things to be not only particularly explosive and intense over or on and around February 18th, very early February 18th, but also for the next couple or a few weeks or so. I guess the next, hang on, this is February 13th, the next couple of weeks, because it's, where the hell is it? It is on March 6th, it looks like, that Uranus enters Taurus. So between now and March 6th, so that's actually the next 3 weeks exactly, 3 weeks to today, we will see, I believe anyway, this would be my prediction, the grand finale of Uranus and Aries, which is all about rebellion and fighting for one's freedom and individuality. I mean, Aries is impulsive, Uranus is sudden, shocking, and unexpected. I mean, you can kind of imagine, what that aspect of our lives has been in the past 7 to 8 years, and we're getting a grand finale of that area of our lives. So look out is all I can say. So let's see what else. Of course, Chiron will enter Aries also very soon on February 18th, 4:06 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know if we'll have time to get into that or not. Chiron, the wounded healer. Venus will align with Saturn on February 18th at 5:51 a.m. So that's like Venus, what we want, Saturn, the authority. It's a conjunction. The authority approves of what we want. The authority, Saturn, approves of Venus, what we want. Being sarcastic, had a great couple days. First completely relaxing days I've had in a while. Oh, relaxing days. Those I find are essential to me. Otherwise, I go insane. Okay, let's see what else. Now, Pisces season begins, of course, this year on February 18th at exactly 6:03 p.m. Again, that's Eastern time, so we will see a shift at that time from the intellectual detachment and like radical, volatile nature, potentially at least, of Aquarius to the subtle, psychic, intuitive, emotional, perceptive realm of Pisces on that day, February 18th. So let's see. Now, I could continue with some other stuff, but what I really want to look at now, because it is highly pertinent to where we are right now, is that Mars entrance into Taurus in 7.3 hours, because that is going to affect us soon, like tomorrow. Like if you're in a different time zone, then later today even, like if this was, say, 10:31 a.m. in some parts of the world, which of course it is, then literally later today for those people living there, that will affect us. Now, going back to Eastern time, it happens at exactly 5:50 a.m. Eastern time, February 14th, tomorrow, Valentine's Day. So it's an interesting aspect for Valentine's Day. But let's see here. First, I want to see how long it lasts. So 1 moment, please. Why? Why to what exactly? Explain, please, and thank you. Like, why is it interesting for being Valentine's Day? Okay, I'm almost there. Okay. Well, Mars will be transiting Taurus officially through March 31st, but that's at 2 a.m. Eastern time that it'll then move into Gemini. So more or less through March 30th. So between February 14th and March 30th. So indeed about 6 weeks. So I've already given my summary on that, but what we're also going to do is look up additional information about that and see what we can find out. Mars in Taurus transit. Okay, here's an article for 2019 specifically. Because again, I've already given my interpretation of the Mars Taurus transit and Mars in Taurus transit. So let's expand upon that with other stuff we can find out through the magic of the internet. All right. Okay, here it is. This is omtimes.com, an article entitled Mars Transits Taurus 2019, El Toro Oro by astrologer Salvador Russo. All right, and it says, let me see if I can zoom in. Damn, I can't zoom in. I guess I'm just going to have to squint. Mark your calendars. The first major economic event within the 2019 astrological year is about to begin. Holy shit, I forgot all about that. That's true. Taurus is also a sign of money. Remember, it's also ruled by Venus. And so there is going to be an economic shift of some kind once Mars enters Taurus and transits Taurus. Now, remember also, as we saw earlier, I believe it was on March 6th, that Uranus enters a sign of Taurus. And so while Mars is still there, And so on March 6th, on around March 6th, we're going to see an even major or an even more, even greater additional shakeup to the economics of the world. And I do mean shakeup because Uranus especially is all about shaking things up. Expect, well, at least a lot more activity happening economically, at most a complete economic revolution. So somewhere in that area, like the most extreme it could manifest as would be like an economic revolution. But again, that's just the most extreme possibility. There's at least going to be a lot more economic activity, shifts, and changes happening over the next 7 years, 7 to 8 years, I guess, really, I should say, with the retrograde pattern, with Uranus transiting Taurus. So that connects here to Mars transit through Taurus as well. Sounds militant. Yes. Mars and Taurus is very militant, I would say. Love luxuries things. Yes, like with Venus. Yeah, that's going to be a factor as well. So anyway, it says, starting on February 14th, the universe will be offering us powerful, future-oriented ways of building, preserving, and creating wealth through the unstoppable advance of the Mars transits Taurus 2019. I don't know why it said it like that, but whatever. Many major financial breakthroughs are about to occur. Through conscious alignment with this golden transit, increases in personal wealth, security, and quality of life are guaranteed. The Mars transit Taurus 2019 is an economic blast-off period that will precede the long-awaited golden age manifesting transit of Uranus in Taurus. Be ready to rock with Mars. The golden hour rapidly approaches. So that's interesting. And keep in mind also, you can figure out how this will affect you even just by your sun sign if you want. Like, that's going to be more general and less precise. But like, for example, if you're an Aries, Mars will transit your second house, and that's the house of money and finance, as well as close relationships, interpersonal relationships. If you're a Taurus, it'd be your first house. If you're a Gemini, it'd be your 12th house, et cetera, et cetera. And so you can sort of figure out things like that. If I had more time, people really wanted me to, I might go through all the signs, but I guess we don't have time for that. This economically fortifying transit begins with a rare grand Earth trine between Mars in Taurus, Eros in Capricorn, and Pleroma in Virgo. Wow, we're getting really esoteric here. Grand trines in any element are divine configurations of grace, blessing, and assured success. Grand trines exist in the astrology of many prominent lives, cities, and companies on this planet. They emit pyramid power that is divine and of God's wise authorship. The Mars transit of Taurus will activate such energy above us, which will translate into obvious and extremely beneficial means of increasing economic strength through our work, career, and methods of earning income. Partnerships with prosperity, potential, and healing opportunities will shine at the start. The general essence of this transit is as follows: new means of building a richer life here on the material plane. Mars is a planet of confidence, leadership, initiative, innovation, and guardianship. We will need to manifest these qualities to seize the opportunities that Mars will soon be presenting us with. Through the timing of Mars in our horoscopes, we will be presented with the people, resources, projects, promotions, and ideas that will lead to higher future prosperity. Motivation and inspiration for building and development will soon spike, so make sure that you channel the Mars energy into building and development in some form or another. When Taurus is active, God wants us all building divinely. Welcome back, Ryan. Welcome back. Taurus is the house of Mother Nature and all her glorious riches. Taurus governs oil, gold, industrial metals, farmland, botanicals, crop yields, precious gems, woods, and minerals, architecture, production, and on the metaphysical level, the periodic table of the elements. Be ready for Mars to introduce you to new forms of natural wealth. Between the entrance of Mars and Uranus into Taurus, we are entering a breathtaking new period when nature will reveal her wealth in marvelous new ways. New sources and supply chains will soon be created all over the world so that wealth is distributed in spiritually just ways. This is the most beneficial transit of Mars for those working in the agricultural realm. Grab some water here. What a great day it will be. I agree. It is very exciting. Miss Poetic Streams. I'm happy to have you back, Ryan. Don't worry, my streams aren't going anywhere anytime soon, if ever. They are my highest excitement. All right, well, this is an interesting take on astrology. This article is about to say, not sure what I think about it, but whatever, here it comes. The Almighty God, who created astrology to govern the world with, is a God of infinite wealth and generosity. The devil wages wars of crushing poverty, while God's path leads to material freedom and limitless prosperity for all. The Mars transit of Taurus is a war on poverty transit. Passions will run high as conflicts arise over wealth, its use, its creation, its preservation, and its social circulation. Pay close attention to raging bull political debates over currency, debt, budgets, and taxation, as Mars will be revealing the heroes and villains of prosperity and poverty. Think critically and measure policies according to their net impact on social wealth, social poverty, and currency strength. History makes it easy. All right, interesting. Now what is this next in this article? Talks about Mars transiting the various houses. Well, let's see. I know for a fact we have a Gemini and a Virgo watching, so I'm just gonna read the one for, let's see, Gemini would be 12th house and Virgo would be their 7th house, right? Hang on. Don't want to fuck that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 8, 9, 9th house. You feel loved? That's good. You are loved. All right, so first, I guess I'll just read them in numerological order. So I guess first, Mars transits 9th house. This should apply to you, Ginny. It says, wisdom is better than rubies, and this transit of Mars will soon prove it. The enlightenment that will open you to greater worldly prosperity is upon you. Be open-minded as Mars stretches your learning and philosophical framework into golden territories of truth. Higher learning will lead you into higher earning. Victories of the pen and paper are now in order. Use the Mars momentum to advance your righteous legal, academic, and political agendas. New teachers, books, and travel plans will soon manifest for inner and outer journeys that should be taken. It is an Indiana Jones type of Mars that commands distant adventures, multicultural learning, linguistic ability, historical reverence, and foreign treasure seeking. Keep watch for new international connections that can help you prosper on a global level. All right. And now for the 12th house for Ryan. Why is this listing? This is weird. The 11th house twice. Oh, it's just, I don't know, some weird glitch. All right. Mars transits Taurus 2019 in the 12th house. At this point, it's all about your light and your karma. These are the currencies that matter most in the 12th house. If you're in good standing before, no offense, Ryan, I don't know what to think of this part of this article, but before the Lord, bona fide financial miracles can happen for you now. Or as I would say, if you're in good standing with the universe. Good karma will be returning through material wealth and mysterious luxuries of all kinds. Mars will also teach you how to break out of self-imposed economic prisons. Where is the illusion and what have you been missing? This Mars transit will show you. But Mars could also require something of you as a test of your soul. your willingness to play the part of an economic guardian angel to another in great need. Will you answer the call, the resources, including from the mineral kingdom, that will help you to connect to God or source or the universe in the greatest way will begin to manifest for your spiritual acceptance? So there you have it. Did work 79 hours within 1 week, so everyone is expecting a big payday soon. Yeah, that's interesting that you're experiencing these shifts in your work life. And Mars and Taurus is, of course, about money. And for you, it's your 12th house. And, well, you know, based on what I just read, what you can expect. So very interesting indeed. So let's see. We have 4 minutes left. Let's see what else we can look into. So other than Mars entering Taurus, we do have an interesting Mercury-Neptune conjunction coming up in Pisces on February 19th, 1:36 a.m. Eastern Time, so the night of February 18th. When Mercury aligns with Neptune in Pisces especially, we're talking our thoughts entering the mystical, imaginative, and non-physical realms. We're talking creativity, perhaps of the highest order. We're talking skill when it comes to any kind of art that involves technical usage. So things like photography or really any kind of filming, movie making, perhaps even live streaming like what I'm doing right now, if you want to look at it that way. Mercury, Neptune, the idea of video games, especially because they're combining technology and technical know-how with the fantasy realms. So Mercury is the technical know-how and technology. Neptune talks about the fantasy realms. So a great day for that. Really a great day for any kind of creativity or like especially using the mind to explore anything from fantasy to the imagination to spirituality, to the non-physical realms, stuff like that, even tarot and astrology, like what we're talking about right now. All of these sorts of things. So, well, as I mentioned, this would be short but sweet, and we have come to the end. There's only 2 minutes left. So I want to thank you guys for being here. Fortunately, we actually did cover like the most important stuff for the near future in this short period of time. So I'm happy that we did. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. I might come back tonight after lunch. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I saw that D Fizzy's streaming currently, so I might have to watch him for a while. You know, gotta follow whatever my highest excitement is. So we'll see. But no, I might come back tonight. Maybe do another Seth stream or start a new book or something. I have no idea yet. Other than that, remember, I'll be back on Saturday for another tarot card analysis stream where we'll be looking at the Tower card and how appropriate for the recent energy we have had, ye gods. And I'll be back on Monday with another Seth stream. We're currently making our way through the nature of personal reality, hopefully for a less explosive Seth stream, a more calm and peaceful one. Or not, you know, whatever. And then, of course, I'll be back on Wednesday for probably more tarot readings, live tarot readings for donations, probably more astrology, maybe some other stuff too. Who knows, really? Who knows? So thank you guys again so much for being here. Thanks, Lumen. Good night to you. Good night, Ryan. Although I might see you guys later, I don't know. But regardless of if I do or not, thanks for being here and hope you have a great night. I'm signing off now.